Yeah.
I'll give you a shout out. I need to charge my last.
Open up to questions for Coach.
Hey guys. Where am I supposed to be standing? On the line?
Between the 20 and the...
Okay.
You're good.
Sorry, I put it off to the side.
Yeah, I like it on the line. I like symmetry.
James, how was the energy execution of practice today?
It was really good. I think we've had the 2 best days of special teams practice since we've been here. I think it's been really, really good. I felt really good about yesterday's energy and execution. We got some new things in, so it wasn't as clean as you'd like it to be, but that's typical on a Tuesday. I thought today, just being out here, not watching the film yet, but I thought, I was really pleased with how we practiced. I don't see as much of the defense as I do the offense, just because how I break practice up. But feedback from Brent from the periods I wasn't over there was good as well. So I like where we're at right now. We got to finish the week off the right way. But right now, I think from a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday preparation standpoint, I like where we're at.
Coach, with game day, what impact have you seen from game day? And you're trying to eliminate distractions. Will you guys watch it afterwards? How are you approaching that as a team?
None. That's for the community. That's for the students. That's for Coach Corso. That's for all that stuff. That's not for us. We'll be at the team hotel. That's not for us. We'll be in meetings. That's not for us. I think I have to go over for a period of time, but that's not for us. And we talked about that early in the week. The guys have earned it. All these things, and it's not like we stick our head in the sand and act like it's not going on. It's going on. But the whiteout, awesome. But our focus is on our preparation, our normal week of preparation. Game day, awesome. Our SOP, our standard operating procedure. Rankings, awesome. But all we're worried about is being 1-0 this week. So I addressed that with the guys on Sunday. I feel like the staff is locked in. I feel like the players are locked in. We got a really good opponent coming to town. Got great history and tradition, just like we do. It should be a heck of a game.
Coach, can we get to the Michigan running game we haven't really talked about a lot? Just how they run the ball, the sets they use behind the fullback and front line, and the back set. I mean, Green Hague didn't have a big game last week, but then they have like Chris Evans and Ty Isaac, are a little different type of runners.
Yep, they've recruited really well. So as we know, they got a lot of talent. Last week, like you mentioned, you got running back go for 200 yards. They are Stanford-esque. They are Michigan State. They're one of those style of offenses where they're going to be multiple formation, multiple personnel groups, multiple shift and motion, and they're going to run power, they're going to run lead, they're going to run counter. They're going to try to run the ball down your throat, play action pass, play great defense, play really good situational football, and try to get their field goal kicker in range to make field goals if they're not scoring touchdowns. I mean, they're what I would describe a traditional Big Ten style of offense.
Hey James, a little number here. You have many sacks in the last 3 weeks as you did in 13 games before that combined. Does that concern you?
Say that again.
You have 14 sacks the last 3 games. That's as many.
So you're talking about our offense, not our defense. I was thinking your defense when first said it.
That you had for the 13 games before that combined. Is that concerning? How do you address that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, whenever we give up more sacks in a game than we get, that we didn't meet one of our objectives. So yeah, there's no doubt about it. I think that's been a conversation for the early part of the season. We got to run the ball better and we got to protect better consistently. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think there's some things that we're doing this week that will help with that. But yeah, we always want to reduce sacks. We always want to get as many as we possibly can. As you imagine, like most problems in life, it's not as simple as one thing. It's a combination of factors that go into it. But I see us improving. Just like we are at every single position, from techniques, from a fundamental standpoint, some things we're going to do scheme-wise to help out with that as well. you know, I think we all know the game of football's won and lost up front. People invest a lot of time and energy in recruiting great defensive linemen, especially guys on the edge, and we try to do the same thing. So, you know, that's kind of the game of football, you know, that I've known my career, but I've also learned very well, you know, getting here after what we walked into. So it's a challenge for everybody.
James, what's your relationship like with Jim Harbaugh? You guys have both been in it for a pretty long time. You recruit a lot of the same areas. I'm sure you see each other at Big Ten Media Days, that sort of thing.
I don't know him very well. Interact, like you're saying, at Big Ten Media Days and somewhat in recruiting. Got a lot of respect for him. Obviously, he's been very successful all the places he's been: San Diego, Michigan, Stanford, 49ers, you know, Michigan. So got a lot of respect for him. I know a bunch of guys on the staff. Pep Hamilton, I know all the way back from when I was at Maryland. He was at Howard. I go way back with him. A bunch of guys. So got a lot of respect for him. But I don't know him personally very well. I think he's fascinating. You know, he's an interesting guy. But I don't know him very well. A lot of respect for his success and you know, what he's been able to do as a player and as a coach.
We ever see you guys take a spring break trip like that?
Like
Rome?
what?
Rome last year.
With them or on
No,
their own?
like on your own, not together. No.
You know, I don't know. That's probably a conversation kind of for the off season, caravans or something like that. I want to focus on this game and not spring break trips. You know, there's some philosophical arguments in both directions for that. There really is. There's financial implications. There's a lot of things, as you can imagine. But yeah, I'd probably rather talk about that at a caravan stop or some other media opportunity. I thought you meant like us going together, like a
I mean, maybe
joint family vacation.
I'll start the Kickstarter. I do have a question for you, though. You talked about patience and self-scouting. What are the parameters for taking things out of the playbook and adding things in? I mean, obviously, there's things that you believe that you've got to be good at to win, but for kind of a drastic example, if you run a triple reverse and it doesn't work, you don't need to do that many times to kind of get the idea that maybe that's not a play that you want in the book. How do you come to those decisions over the course of the season?
Yeah, I'd probably phrase it a little bit different than you just did. Things don't leave the playbook. You know, the playbook, basically anything you've ever run is in the playbook. And then when you need it, you can go to it. And you got video playbook, and then you have the written materials as well. I think what you're referencing is more as the game plan. What makes the game plan and what is removed from the game plan. Am I right there?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you're looking for, you know, angles and leverage. You're always looking for plays that you have a leverage advantage, an angle advantage, where you can create space and green grass. On offense, obviously defensively, you're trying to do the opposite. You're trying on offense to run what I would say is downhill, where you got a numbers advantage compared to uphill, you know, into bad angles or bad numbers. And on defense, you're trying to do the complete opposite. So the playbook is based on that, or the game plan is based on that. What plays do you think give you the best advantage and put your players in the best position to be successful and gain those things? And also, where do you eliminate? I think the hard part that I think we're doing a pretty good job of is you can come up with 125 plays like that, but you can't get them all practiced versus all the looks. And I think that's the hard part between a young coach or an inexperienced coach and a veteran coach, is the art of what is that fine line of balance that you have enough in the game plan that you're not predictable and keep the defense or the offense kind of you know, off balance. And that's the fine line. What is that number? And obviously with a more experienced offense, the bigger that number can be. And also make the argument, kind of an old coaching philosophy is, the more complex the defense you go against, then the less you want to do. The more vanilla the defense is, then the more complex you can be on offense. So you have to balance all those things into what you're doing. And we got a veteran coaching staff and we got a veteran team now, so you can do more of that. That's where the challenges come. When you got a young, inexperienced team, you think you would want to be more complex to try to help those guys gain an advantage, but you can't. So that's where the challenge comes. So I hope I answered the question.
Time for 2 more.
James, along with the key game this weekend, it's really a primary.
Are they new glasses?
What's that?
They new glasses.
Are they dimming on me?
They
when
tinted?
the light hits them, yeah. My wife just made fun. They're new. My wife made fun of me.
And they're the tinted ones?
Yeah. I said I'll get transitions, and now.
I did the transitions too. Didn't go well.
Yeah.
Got beat up by the players, by fans, by opposing fans. So that's why, like, you guys always ask, like, that guy that's with me all the time with the Gatorade and the markers and the towel. That's the other thing he does, is changing from the glasses to the sunglasses, where the transitions are so much more efficient and easier, but it's just not a good look. It's kind of like a played out dad. You know what I mean?
I'm with you.
You look good on him now.
They look great on you.
Thank you.
Let's talk about me. Let's talk about me.
Mark, thank you. Well, getting back to big game, but also a major showcase opportunity for the recruiting efforts. How do you balance as a staff getting ready for this game, but also the logistics of hosting so many recruits, and how do you maximize the opportunity? Yeah,
it's a organizational nightmare, because you don't want to say no to anybody, but how do you make sure that all these kids that come have a good experience? Because here's the other deal. If you come and then you don't have the manpower to show them the attention, then it can backfire on you. And I think that's where a lot of people don't understand football and staff sizes. That's why you have the numbers that you have. Because when you're going to sign a class of 25 guys in a class, I'm just using that as an example, you're going to have to recruit in the starting point maybe 250 kids to get to that 25. So how do you manage all of that when we're at the game? Who's making sure that the kid that got stuck in traffic that shows up late that can't get into the game and is managing that issue, or don't know where to park, or it's a nightmare. So that's where you see these staff sizes, is to manage all of that. It is a challenge. It is really a challenge. Or the kid who you're recruiting who wants to bring 3 of his teammates, and typically we could probably accommodate that, but this game we can't. So there's a lot of things that go into it. Families, that's the other issue right now with the official visits. I get it why we changed the rules and moved the official visits up, but that's a problem. Like this summer, we're gonna be doing camp while official visits are going on. So you gotta have the staff to be able to run camp, and we can't hire high school coaches anymore. And then you gotta have people to entertain the families and be able to show them the campus and set up the academic meetings. So in some ways, by us moving the official visits up and changing the rule that we can't hire high school coaches anymore, you've just made the argument to make the staffs bigger, which I know every AD and commissioner now is like watching this video and uncomfortable with what I said, but that's the problem, is every time you make one of these decisions to change things, there's an opposite effect as well. So there are the challenges with it, and it's like I tell you guys, I'm on vacation, and the #1 quarterback in the country calls and says that he wants to come visit Penn State. What am I going to say? Well, I'm on vacation, come back 2 weeks from now? No, I'm flying back. So that's where it's a challenging deal, because you're never really off in college football. In the pros, you're off. When you're off, you're off. You go home with your family, they go home with their family. They're not calling you. College players aren't saying, hey, I'm in town with the Green Bay Packers, can I come visit? You're off. And that's the advantage of that. So I'm not saying I have the answer, but it's tricky. Everybody wants to deregulate or change the rules or do this and do that. There's consequences to it.
One more.
What is your current approach to social media, and how has it evolved throughout your coaching career?
I'm not a huge social media fan. I embrace it and accept it because I think it's part of the job and it allows me to connect. I do think home games, I'm going to be different on Twitter than I am away games because I'm trying to create the best atmosphere in college football because I know that's going to equate to winning. It's going to help winning. There's no doubt about it. It affects the opportunities to be successful. So whatever I can do to help with that, I'm going to be a little bit different. You know, when it comes to home games, typically I'm they make a quote and I'll tweet it out with a "we are," or I see someone else that has done something and I retweet it, and that's really it. I do monitor my players, and I have staff to do that as well. That's usually about the extent of it, but I also think that I also have a responsibility to promote Penn State football, the brand, and you know, when I think we can expand the whiteout more than just the stadium and get all the bars downtown and all the restaurants and the schools and the businesses and Rothrock and Happy Valley Brewery and get all them people to white it out as well, and then get all the watch parties across the country to white it out as well. It's pretty cool. The whole state of Pennsylvania, white it out. So we can take what we have that's special in that stadium and grow it. And that's what we're trying to do with every aspect of our program, is to grow it. And people say, well, I don't have something white. You have bleach. Bleach. So to me, it's something I think is already really special, but I think it can get even bigger. I really do. I even talked to, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, I even talked to a local high school coach that when they have home games, the same weekend we're having a home game, can they have a whiteout? And that would be pretty cool. You know, so you know, let's grow this thing.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Come on, I think it's line this up.